The National Museum of American History recently reopened its popular exhibition, First Ladies at the Smithsonian. On view is a fascinating array of 14 dresses and more than 90 other items from sunglasses to faux pearls in a display case more than 50 feet long. Over the decades, just as the Smithsonian's collection of dresses and other memorabilia has grown, so has the role and impact of the president's wife. Join curator Lisa Kathleen Grady on a behind-the-scenes tour of the making of the new exhibition.
This is Eleanor Roosevelt, and this is a gown that Eleanor Roosevelt wore to the 1945 inaugural reception. There was not a ball because there was a war, so there was a reception. So this was designed by Arnold Constable. And one of the things I find interesting about it is apparently it is rayon crepe, but that certainly makes sense as maybe a wartime conservation measure, or that just happens to be when rayon is good. We had to add an extender to this mannequin because Eleanor Roosevelt was a tall woman. This is Martha Washington. This is from about from the 1780s, is sort of the style. We know that it's painted silk, and it's got a pattern of you can see the insects. Martha's missing her collar. So Martha, these are the collar and cuffs are reproduction. This has been through a series of conservation attempts over the years, and then some things were taken apart. This is Mary Lincoln. This dress has been remade. This fabric is a woven. All of this is woven into the fabric, and this dress originally was worn with an evening bodice. And there's a Matthew Brady picture about 1861 of Mary seated wearing this dress, and it has a lower cut, an evening kind of bodice on it. And at some point after that, this dress went to a member of the family. After Abraham Lincoln died, Mary never wore color again. She stayed in mourning for the rest of her life, and some of her clothes went to members of the family. And at some point, a panel was taken out of the skirt. The skirt would have been wider, but a panel was removed from the skirt and remade into this daytime bodice. This is Francis Cleveland, and this is from the Cleveland's second administration. Most of our Cleveland clothes come from the second administration. We did, a few years ago, though, we did not have Francis Cleveland's inaugural gown. And a few years ago, her granddaughter called, and the inaugural gown had been kept in the family and remade as a wedding gown that was worn by various members of the family, and they decided they would like now to give it to the museum. So interestingly, and it just hasn't been conserved yet, but interestingly, the bottom, the skirt, looks to me exactly like the descriptions I'm reading in Frank Leslie's Illustrated Weekly as they described Mrs. Cleveland's inaugural dress. The bodice, however, has been remade, but you can see that it's been remade with the same lace.